This is Confessionals, episode 4. I am Sloane McCraw, and today I am joined by
JeanLu Peak.
JeanLu is the current president of the AIGA RSO on campus, and AIGA is the American Institute of Graphic Artists.
Yeah. You know the acronym better than I do. I've just gone by the letters all this whole time.
That's absolutely fair. The website actually only has the letters. That's earlier, but
yeah, you have to go searching specifically for it written out to find it.
So just start things off. What do you personally do in AIGA as president or so forth in general?
To be quite honest, I got pulled into it through a project with one of my professors, and we have yet to really get it off the ground very well. Mm-hmm. Still, most what we have done is like study nights over in Pulliam, which is the design wing. There is a large studio space where students can have like a desk where they can work there when they're like in between classes or such. And we've done study nights in there a few times where we all just kind of get together and talk about different projects we have in different classes. I am part of another RSO, IDSA, which is Industrial Design Society of America. I also just go by the letters of that. But it is, so AIGA is for comm design, communication design. IDSA is for the industrial designers, and the programs are so small, we just kind of work together most of the time. Okay. All the students kind of just know each other. But even with that, we just have mostly been doing study nights, a few game nights here and there. We also went, just for fun, we went to the bowling alley here on campus and did that for a night. So it's kind of more or less just the students getting together when they can, and when we kind of set a date when we think we can get together mostly.
All right, that's really cool. So going with a lot of community-based events and just having your AIGA people
members
with you.
Yeah.
Is there a particular direction that y'all are looking to move forward in the future?
In the past, I know there were design firm crawls where I think it was mostly in St. Louis. The advisor would get in contact, or we would get in contact with these firms, and we would go to St. Louis for the day and just do a firm crawl, which is where we just kind of see how the designers in the field already are working, how their spaces work, their interactions and stuff. Haven't done that. We would kind of like to try to get back into that, but I personally have been kind of covered with classes, so I've not been able to reach out very well. But that's one of the big things that the RSO would do. There's also, I don't think it's happening this year again, design days, which is, I honestly don't know what it is because I've never been to one. SIU hasn't been able to get that back up and running since I've come. Basically, the professionals in the industry would come to us, and we would like get to show our portfolios and have kind of in-person reviews then.
Okay, so you get these kind of workshop events and everything, and you're looking forward to start that up?
We would like to, for sure. I think some of the new students in it might have a little more ambition than I do to get it running, so hopefully they can get it going better than I have.
That's absolutely fair. Talking about you personally, first off, what's your major?
I'm a double major in communication design and in industrial design, so two different fields of design, basically.
Cool. So you're in both RSOs and you major in both?
Yeah.
That's awesome. What drew you to this path of doing communication design and industrial design?
I liked art, and if you don't go into art education, you go into design if you want to make money, to be quite honest. Art was a big thing for me starting in like junior high. I had a really good art teacher then, and even when she left, the next one was pretty good as well, so I just liked that direction, and I actually transferred from a community college. But at my community college as well, I had a really good art teacher, so I just enjoyed that path.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's great to hear passion, community for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any particular project that you are working on right now that is most prominent in your time?
I am a senior. I've been technically a senior this whole time since I transferred. Don't understand that. But this is my last semester, hopefully, and I'm in thesis. So that is a large part of my life at the moment.
All right. Are you able to share anything about
Um,
your thesis?
well, so a little personal. I am adopted from China. My idea for this thesis is to create a learning experience, a new game, particularly for young adoptees to learn about their home culture. So specifically Chinese adoptees right now. If I could like expand it, I suppose like look into other countries and stuff. But at the moment, I'm doing good to focus on the one country.
That's fair. So would you say that this is a project that you'd probably expand on in the future so that you can continue with that?
It would probably depend on my timing. This right now is just mainly a thesis project. Thesis is kind of showing that we've improved since the beginning of our courses. I would like to expand it, but I don't know, like, depending on timing and stuff, probably would get in the way of that.
Would you say you personally are leaning more towards communication design or industrial design?
Communication, for sure. Communication in general is graphic design, which is like the 2D arts, more or less, logos, websites. Industrial design is literally creating with 3D models and such, like chairs and stuff, actual physical objects, rather than the graphics that would go on it. And I enjoy the graphics much more.
Was there ever a point where you felt the divergence between those, just your more preference for the graphic portion?
The graphics is more drawing, which I leaned into more always. I decided to do a double major mostly because at the time when I transferred, it was recommended that you did the double major, and I've just stuck it out since then.
Would you say there's any major inspiration for what you're currently doing? I know you mentioned being adopted and finding culture before.
Well, I mean, for the thesis, that specifically, yes.
Yeah.
No, I guess not. I mean, I enjoy drawing mostly, so that's just kind of based off of what fits best with the project is how I go about that probably usually.
When you started doing college, it was during COVID, right?
I started community college before COVID hit.
Yeah.
My second year, the last semester for community college is when COVID hit, so I started here at SIU in the middle of COVID, yes.
How much do you feel has changed about your path or your art since just the expanding time?
Just the general art in general is unless it's like the histories where it's kind of more textbook lined, is a very strange courses to take virtually. It's not impossible, I wouldn't say, because plenty of students have done it now, and I think we could probably go back to it again if need be, but I mean, I don't think anybody would prefer that. But especially I think for the more physical arts, like probably drawing, sculpting for sure,
Okay.
that was quite difficult. I was taking a life drawing class at the time when lockdown happened, and going from being able to see the model in front of me to trying to just copy off of what I could find online was very strange.
Mm-hmm.
My design courses specifically, at the time I did more UX UI, which is user experience, that's app kind of terms, which wasn't so much of a thing. That's more of I enjoyed like creating the graphics in an app and the layouts for it. So that's not so like physically in front of you like life drawing is. But just I think one of my first classes also was just learning Adobe products.
Okay.
And which was very helpful because I had no experience with Adobe before that. But I think sometimes being able to see more where the teacher was typing and stuff would have been nice.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of slowed the process down, I think, for some of us if we were more visually oriented in learning, I suppose.
That's absolutely fair. Now thinking more about just progressing onward, is there anything you'd like to do after you graduate in particular? Anything that you were aiming for?
I mean, I'm hoping I'm finding a job.
Yeah.
You can either kind of go there's two main paths that I understand for designers on either field, industrial or comm, is you can get in a firm, which is like the firm crawls, where you're kind of in a company and you get projects given to you nearly. Other companies come to you for logos, website layouts, posters, or whatnot, or you can go independent and you go searching for the jobs, but that's a lot of networking, and I'm not particularly good at that, so I'm hoping I just find a good firm or a firm that will take me on.
That's absolutely fair. I think I'd probably move to do the same.
Yeah.
Is there, have you done any work with graphic design already? I know, of course, you're a student, but just beyond that.
I did, beginning of this, I said I got pulled into AIGA from a project with a professor. It was Diversity Week here on campus in, what was that, 2020? Might have been for 2021. Fall of 2021 Diversity Week, I think. Me and two other students, he pulled us to work on that kind of over the summer at the end of, or was that spring of 2020, to kind of work on that. And that's kind of the biggest past just projects for classes that I've done for graphics, personally. I've done a few, I have my own website that has old projects. That was a project for a class, but it was also just learning kind of website layout, and I've kind of messed with that since then, just kind of learning better ways to lay things out, I suppose, in actual space.
Yeah, just with web design opposed to anything else.
Yeah.
Thinking about the Diversity Week project, how'd the process for that go, just from your own perspective?
Well, pretty similar to projects. So at the time we started with the logo, we knew it was going to be called Diversity Week. We had to incorporate SIU's own logo, of course, into it. But so we did sketches for a logo, kind of coming up with word mapping. I don't know that that's the right term, but basically just kind of words associated with diversity and such, kind of coming up with other ideals, I suppose, that go along with that. So came up with different sketches for logos. We had to create a poster for all the events, the speakers and such. Very early on, was not good at poster layout, so the teacher kind of took that over for me, at least. I started it, came up with some of the basic ideas. But let's see. There's also, you can go into the animation side with graphic design. The senior at the time, or I guess he was a senior, he's since graduated at least, he came up with a little animation with the logo for it. That could be played kind of in the background as things went on.
Is there any part of the process that is a highlight to you that you should enjoy doing the most?
I liked seeing finished projects or finished products that I at least helped with. Seeing kind of general ideas that I offered up to the group to be kind of pulled through to the final products was nice.
Okay. Is there ever a part of the end process and having the product that you feel that, what things would make it a success in your mind?
I think one of the things my professors, some of my professors have always said, good design is not noticed. You notice the things that don't work. So as long as as people don't really mention that it's bad, that's a good thing. Okay. So just kind of, I suppose that's, kind of a bit more leaning towards the industrial design thing stuff. But even with poster layouts, you notice when type is too small or too close together, or if you use a condensed type for all of your body text, you can't read that because that font type is not meant for that. So just kind of seeing people enjoy, or just kind of glance over it and notice it, but also just kind of take it in, I suppose, and not have problems with it. It's nice.
It's absolutely fair. Is there any type of design that you enjoy seeing and maybe something that you'd like to work on in the future?
I lean towards doing app design, so icons, layouts of that. There is Adobe XD, which is Adobe's specific products for app layout, and then there's Figma, which I have not used much particularly. But that, like the transitions between pages, having like smooth transitions, different animations for that, I think is very fun to try to figure out how to make work. That's more, that's not like coding it by any means. There are different programs that you can take your file and put it into to make that work actually in code. But that's the UX, UI. I honestly never remember which one it is, but
Yeah.
I should by now.
Just to kind of round things out, thinking of AIGA, is there any particular way to start getting involved on campus?
At the moment, no, because we just don't hold many things. I mean, our page is there on, what is that, Presence, or the RSO page for SIU. I mean, you're welcome. Yeah. Anybody's welcome to send me or send a message that you'd like to join. Most of our meetings right now are Thursdays, probably about 5, maybe 6 o'clock in the afternoon. That might change, of course. We just don't have a very set schedule of any sort. It's kind of as us leaders kind of get together and decide, oh, we've not done something in a while. We should probably try to at least pull us all together.
Yeah, just to end things off, is there anything that you'd like to just full out say? It can be advice to people that are interested in doing graphic arts, or just anything that you can think of currently.
To get into either comm design or graphic or industrial design, the programs seem intimidating, but it's just get in there and mess around with them for sure. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I had never worked with any of the Adobe products. With industrial design, you start getting into CAD work, which is 3D renderings and stuff. I'm still kind of intimidated by that, but it's just getting used to the programs and then learning how to make those work best for you. And then, of course, having the sketching knowledge and kind of even just working on that to be able to communicate your ideas. So communication design, yeah. to be able to communicate what your idea is, and then to be able to kind of refine that from there is kind of one of the big things I think sometimes can be intimidating for some of the new students coming into it. Mm-hmm. But just go with it.
Just go with it.
Yeah.
Just see if you can just start working with communication design, industrial design, and see if you can just find the passion for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say
Okay.
that pretty much.
All right. Well, JeanLu, I really appreciate having you here today with me. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Thanks for having me. This was fun. Yeah. I quite liked this.
Of course. So this has been episode 4 of Cult Confessionals, joined by JeanLu, the current president of AIGA. Cult Confessionals will continue bi-weekly, of course. So I'll see you next time. Love you, mean it, bye.